Good morning, parents. First, I'd like to welcome you all and thank everyone for coming, especially at such short notice. I know you are all very busy and it's difficult to take time away from your daily tasks for meetings. Now, let me introduce myself. I am Juvio Maniha, advisor of your children, major in TLA. Now, let's take a look in our today's agenda. As you can see here on the agenda, we will be mainly talking about the rules and regulations. After that, we'll discuss about the grading system, followed by the students' difficulties encountered when it comes on e-learning. And now, let's proceed with rules and regulations. First is uniform, of course. Uniform is very important. Number 1 is regular uniform to be worn from Monday to Thursday. 2. House uniforms will be enforced on Fridays. 3. Non-compliance with uniform rules will result in the student being sent back home. And last but not the least is colored dress can be worn on birthdays. Next is our attendance. 80% attendance out of 217 working days is mandatory for promotion to the next class. 2. Monthly attendance should not go below 60% except under unavoidable circumstances. 3. Leave availed for less than 3 days should be intimated through the school diary to the class teacher by the parent. 4. Leave required availed for 3 and a greater number of days should be intimated to the class teacher in a separate letter before the student leaves or on return. 5. Leave taken account of illness should be intimated through a letter accompanied by the medical certificate issued by the doctor. This applies for leave beyond 3 days. And of course, exam attendance is compulsory. However, absent due to unavoidable circumstances will be conducted only the first summative assessment, and last but not the least is the annual assessment exam is compulsory as well. A rating for absentees will be held before promotion to the next class is given. If your parents ask me why we have school rules regulations, rules and regulations in a school are very important. For this enable discipline for students, make a school orderly, and maintain the quality of the school. The main reason why schools have the rules and regulation is to discipline students. These regulations enable students to behave well inside the school premises. And now let's proceed with our grading system. Our grading system, we have here our core subjects, academic track, we have our technical, vocational, and livelihood, or we call TVL, we have sports, arts, and design track. Now we have here our written work. In our core subject, we have 25%. And our academic track, all of the other subjects, we have 25% in written works. And work immersion, research, business, enterprise, simulation, exhibit, or performance, we have 35%. And work immersion, research, exhibit, performance in a technical, vocational, and livelihood, we have 20%. And now, let's proceed with performance tasks. In a core subjects, we have 50%. Our academic track, all of the other subjects, we have 45%. And work immersion, research, business, enterprise, simulations, exhibit, performance, we have 40%. And now we have work immersion, research, exhibit, performance, we have 60%. And last but not the least is quarterly assessments. In the core subjects, we have 25%. And academic track, all of the other subjects, we have 30%. And academic track, will immersion, research, business, enterprise, simulations, exhibit, performance, we have 25%. And Technical vocational livelihood TVL sports, arts and design track, and work immersion research exhibit performance we have 20%. The purpose of a grading system is to give feedback to students so they can take charge of their learning and to provide information to all who support these students, like the other teachers out there, especially you parents. You can teach your children as well. And now, let's proceed with students' difficulties encountered. Here are the challenges students are currently facing with online learning and specific tips on how to address them. I know parents that the existence of the COVID-19 pandemic has transformed many aspects of our lives, especially to our children. Here are some of the most common difficulties that students are currently facing with online learning, along with the specific tips on how to address them. One is distraction everywhere. Distraction are a reality of distance learning. A delivery or one thing like a pet running into the home office can be disruptive for everyone involved if you're in the middle of a virtual classroom sessions. As a result of these distractions and possibly having additional responsibilities, time management becomes more challenging. Having a time management system is perhaps the most difficult challenge for students to overcome because it depends entirely on self-motivations. Students need to be serious about their education. So parents, you can teach your children to motivate themselves and learn how to manage time, set daily schedule, and study despite constant distractions. So the solution is to try to think building schedule. Number 2 is technical issues. Technical issues are bound to happen on online only environment. This may sound obvious, but technical issues and internet connection only add to the online environment's frustrations and interrupt new distant learning sessions. Sometimes your computer will shut down, or there are moments with your Wi-Fi is spotty, and weak monitors can make it challenging to keep up with your children's learning environment. The most important step is to tell your children to stay in touch for me or even the other teachers out there if they encounter difficulties so that we can understand the situations that they face. And last but not the least is some students being left behind. We all know parents that in the traditional classrooms, teachers can monitor the students and adjust their pace to accommodate everyone who needs extra time. Now, in online learning environment, it's more difficult to do so, since it is harder to read body language virtually. Learners may stay silent or put on a brave face and then leave the class feeling discouraged, frustrated, and having learned nothing. But parents, tell your children that set themselves up for success by asking for information in any relevant apps or you may not understand or how to access the class so that the student not being left behind. Also, parents, be sure that your children raise concern to their teachers. whether it be during the online class or through email or different form of communications. And I hope parents that today's conference that you can teach your students that if they face a lot of difficulties during online class, they should tell their teachers so that the teachers know the situation. And that's all, everyone, and thank you for coming. Have a good day.